I request that the group that is hollering out from their seats, speaking out, cease their yelling.
You have to respect the other person's ability to say what they want to say, even if you don't respect what they're saying.
You have the right to voice your opinion, but that doesn't give you the right to also disrupt the proceeding.
Our country was founded upon our right to speak. We should not be put into prison or censored because we speak.
The First Amendment of the United States Constitution, adopted in 1791, is one of 10 amendments that constitute the Bill of Rights. It prevents the government from making laws which abridge the freedom of speech, the right to peaceably assemble, and to petition the government for the redress of grievances. While the amendment is often challenged in the courts, nearly 230 years later, it's still at the root of our national identity.
I don't think there's anything more important in our law or in our Constitution than the First Amendment. But having said that, like all constitutional amendments, like all of our rights, it's a balanced right. It's not absolute. It's a recognition that I have rights and you have rights, and sometimes they come into conflict.
Such conflicts have played out in the City of Torrance council chambers.
My son did not deserve to be dead right now.
Sherilyn Haynes is the mother of 23-year-old Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. Her son was fatally shot on December 9, 2018. That night, Torrance police had been notified of a stolen vehicle and found it parked in a supermarket parking lot. Mitchell was in the driver's seat with a rifle between his legs. Police believed he was reaching for the firearm when they fired the fatal round.
We will not be silent. We will not be fearful. We will not be intimidated.
Following the shooting, the group Black Lives Matter has staged racially charged protests each week at Torrance City Council meetings, limiting the City Council's ability to conduct regular business. In May, tensions escalated when demonstrators clashed with counter-protesters, all while the City Council discussed an urgency ordinance making it a misdemeanor to disrupt council meetings and disobey orders from the mayor. Police in riot gear were called in to clear the council chambers and restore order. The council then passed the ordinance. Those in violation could face jail time along with a $1,000 fine.
We have all these officers on standby. It's almost like I feel like we're almost in a war zone here.
The City of Torrance recognizes and respects the right of freedom of speech. But the rules of order must be observed so that all attendees can hear and be heard.
The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office completed its review of the shooting on October 9, 2019. It found both officers involved in the shooting acted in lawful self-defense. Following release of the officers' names by the DA's office, protesters continue to dispute the decision. Each week, speakers use the 30-minute oral communication period as a forum, with its 3 minutes per speaker limit to express their concerns.
Ma'am, your time is up.
Shame on you that you would remove her entirely from this process for speaking over the allotted time.
While protesters call the time limitations unfair, others say they're not strict enough. They say interruptions infringe upon the rights of those there to advance the agenda of the meeting. So what right does the public have to express its views in places like this, the Torrance City Council chambers, where the people's business is conducted? The answer lies in the First Amendment and also the Ralph M. Brown Act, passed in 1953. The Brown Act was designed to prevent local government bodies from holding meetings in secret and to guarantee the public's right to attend and participate in meetings of local legislative bodies.
The whole purpose of the Brown Act, which governs how meetings are to occur, and the First Amendment is to allow people to attend meetings and express themselves. Remember that local governments are the one area where citizens most interact with their government. You very rarely get to meet your congressperson or your president or even your state assembly person or state senator, but your city council people, they're there at meetings. And so we want to encourage people to attend meetings and feel that they can express themselves and not limit what they're saying.
So when and where is free speech protected? In public meetings, cities can place limitations around the time allowed for open speech, usually 3 to 5 minutes. Appropriate venues for organized protests may include parks, sidewalks, or parades, but cities may require advance permits to ensure they don't disrupt traffic flow or public safety.
Government cannot say, we're not going to let you speak. They have to let you speak, but they can place reasonable regulations on time, place, and manner of where that speech occurs, depending on where it is.
The law has long recognized that the freedom of speech is not the freedom to speak in any place at any time. In particular, you can't speak, generally speaking, with a few exceptions, on someone else's property. And you can't speak on government property while the government is using it for its own programs. Again, that's true whether it is inside a college classroom or a junior high school classroom or a city council meeting.
And while the First Amendment protects most content, it stops at protecting conduct.
Rushing the dais is not protected. Making physical threats is not protected. Engaging in conduct that is disruptive is not protected, but calling people names, using profanity, that is protected speech. We are not allowed to say you cannot express yourself with a certain type of speech, certain type of language, because some people say that maybe that's how I best express my opinions.
Well, they're certainly entitled to exclude disruptors. They're entitled to prosecute disruptors. They're entitled to get them arrested and prosecuted, and in extreme cases, jailed. You can't go into a city council meeting to interrupt it any more than you go into a classroom. But the one general rule is it can't impose restrictions in a viewpoint-based way.
Throughout our nation's history, the use of free speech is where battles have been won and lost. It's an amendment designed not for the good of society, but for the individual.
It's about individual rights. Americans have always been called a country of rugged individuals. Well, that's what the Constitution gives us. It protects us not from other people, but from our own government. And that's what makes it different.
As Abraham Lincoln so eloquently phrased it in his Gettysburg Address, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Colleen Farrell.